sure why. You can see here, I got the troubleshooting up for live streaming. I didn't change anything again, and we'll see what a difference it makes. All right. So here's where we were. We are doing the intro to the desktop editor and TypeScript for Meta Horizon Worlds. Okay, Module 1, let's go down. We already went through the learning objectives and what we need to know before we begin our learning pathways. And we have to open up the MetaQuest Link application. The MetaQuest Link application is something that you can just download. See, I have the link here. Oh, you know what? I should have put that. I'll see if I can put that as a comment in my YouTube. You know what? Let's try it right now. Let's see what I can do. And I'm gonna, if anybody just, I'm just saying, if somebody needs to upload a thing, or I mean download. If anybody needs to download that, sorry, I'm multitasking, and you would think a teacher would be better. You'd think. All right, let's go to my channel. And hopefully this video is going to be live right there. Okay, I'm going to quickly turn off the volume on it while download. There we go. All right. And can I leave a comment? Live chat. Join the comments. Join the conversation. What? Why can't I open panel? All right. Oh, live chat. There we go. No? Okay. I can't join the conversation, so that's all right. We'll as long as I know the YouTube is up and running and people can see it. All right, so just Google MetaQuest Link app. I'm going to open up my MetaQuest Link app. Okay, here's the MetaQuest Link app. You just go to Meta Horizon. Oh, you go to Library, Meta Horizon Worlds, click the 3 dots and start in desktop mode. All right. Now this is going to open up. Got a lot of big programs running on this thing. I was going to open Discord later. I was like, maybe that'll be too much. This computer is not really equipped for a lot of that stuff. Okay, let me just... Now, okay, we got this far before and on the last stream, which was just a few seconds ago. New drivers are required for the MetaQuest Link. Update now? So is that, what are you saying? You're saying we're not going to... Should I really do that? MetaQuest Link is... Now is what we're going to do. Okay, so while it's doing that, we'll go ahead and look at this tutorial and what's to come, all right? So we're going to open the link. We're going to go to the creations page, and this is what the TypeScript world is going to look like that we're going to be starting off with. And this is going to be like an obstacle course kind of where you run around and collect gems. All right. It's going black because it is updating the drivers, I think. And I think it's like, And it looks like it's coming out weird in my... Oh, no. It is coming out well in that. Okay. Let's see if the MetaQuest Link is ready. And the drivers are updated. For all I know, that's been there the entire time. And... I never noticed because it always worked. I think it's because I'm streaming and I'm accessing the desktop editor at the same time, which, goes through the web. But I have really good internet. I got really high internet speeds. So, we'll see. All right. So that's still loading. That's not a good sign. Might not be able to do this. All right, build mode and preview mode. In the above, there's build mode. Okay, if anybody uses this in VR, you're familiar with build mode. And to explore the world and play test it, you click on the preview mode. That's how you turn into the avatar that can run around and interact. All right, the MetaQuest Link app did not turn on. I'm going to click it again. All right, in preview mode, we use the mouse to look around, WASD controls to move. And then in a preview mode, you move at a single speed. I don't know why it's telling you that. I guess you don't run in preview mode. All right, again, here is the MetaQuest Link app opened up. I come down to Library. I go to Meta Horizon desktop editor early access, I start in desktop mode. And then it works perfectly. Is it going to work perfectly? We're going to see. All right, I can go ahead and shrink this. I think I can even close that, but I'm not going to mess with it. All right. It's saying the graphics card is incompatible, but it's said that for years, and I've been able to do stuff when it said that in regards to Meta Horizon World. So we see it's loading. This is like the world. This is like the transition in between worlds. You know, this space, and usually there's a beautiful picture out there instead of just this black. Anyhow. All right. So in this game, we're going to jump with the space bar. Oh, okay, because that's how you control the characters. Here, I'm going to put this off to the side until, it doesn't even want to move. Please don't tell me you don't even want to move. All right. So anyway, that's preview mode. You know how that works. You just run around in there, okay? Very, very simple, intuitive. Game layout. You'll see that the course for your game is provided. All right, we already got that. And okay, you are welcome to change the course to anything you like if desired for this tutorial. I'm going to leave the course as is. So yeah, if you want to change colors or something, I don't think it's very easy to change colors, but if you wanted to add some ramps or something, you could, but why bother right now? You know, we'll get to that. All right, some tips if you change the course. Get in the habit of building your maps offset from the origin. This makes snapping easier in the editor. Okay, and this is only if you're changing the course. So you can drag and drop assets in the hierarchy panel to reorganize them as you see fit. There'll be a hierarchy panel all the way in the left side. And let me show you this beautiful, well-running MetaQuest. All right, so this is the MetaQuest Link app. All right, so how we're going to get started? Well, let's follow the directions, okay? How about you go there and you go there. All right. Now, we're going to create 4 duplicates of the green gem asset to the template. Oh, let's get to the part we're supposed to do, okay? We're starting in desktop mode. We go to creations. So for us, we can click tutorials. And there's all these worlds. So if I open up this world, if I click it, now, that is just back to the app. It did send a link, but it looks like it's also going. It says it's traveling, so hopefully I did it correctly, and it is. Okay, let me not put any pressure on it. Yeah, hopefully it's going. Okay, so it looks like the desktop editor is opening. Okay. Now I was just talking about the hierarchy. This is one of the awesome things about the desktop editor. This list over here, every object. If you're looking for an object, you can. They're all organized. Sometimes they're collected together in an entity group or all attached to, something. So and one of the things about it is when you choose one of these items, and I'm going to touch F on my keyboard, it's going to find that item. So wherever you are, it'll find that item. Okay. So, yeah, we started a tutorial world. So, again, remember, we went to the library, we opened the Meta Horizon Worlds, started in desktop editor. Then we went down to tutorials and we clicked, let's look at the picture. The intro to desktop editor TypeScript. Okay, the intro to desktop editor and TypeScript. Okay, so it's those 2 introductions. So let's see, what's the next instructions? We got started. Okay. Open the MetaQuest link. Okay, your world should now be open in the desktop editor. Yay, we did it. We're computer scientists now. All right, build mode and preview mode. In the above world, the world is in build mode. Okay, you can see mine is too. It's indicated by the wrench icon in the toolbar You know what? I remember seeing this and I remember not knowing anything about any wrench, but that's okay. All right. To explore the world and play test it, click preview mode. Okay, the preview mode button is this play button. And then we're instantly transported to the spawn point, and I'm just using my mouse to look around. I'm using the WASD buttons and spacebar to jump. Let's run through this obstacle course. This is what we're starting with. And I guess the gems are going to be spread out among this place. Okay. Now what's the next instruction? I'm going to hit X. See, because when I move my mouse around, it's still controlling there, but I want to use my mouse for something else. So I'm going to hit escape real quick. I just hit it once, and I am no longer controlling it. So here, let's come over here. In preview mode, move, jump, great. To leave preview mode, press the escape key. Okay, you have to push it twice actually. So I just hit the escape key twice, and now I am in build mode. All right. Note that exploring the world in preview mode is not the same thing as playing the game experience. In the toolbar next to the mode controls, you can see the simulation playback controls. Okay, note that exploring the world in preview mode is not the same. In the toolbar next to mode controls, okay, what's the toolbar and what's mode controls? Okay, is this the toolbar? Then where is mode controls? Oh, there we go. View mode. So we can see it shaded. Okay, let's remember it's shaded. I'm going to test these other ones out. Oh, just look at the wireframe. Okay, that's already boggling my mind. Let's just stick with the shaded mode. Okay, who would have thought? Like if I was clicking these, it's a good thing we have this tutorial, because if I was clicking these and looking around and I was like, oh, which one of these am I supposed to set it to? I would like shaded would have been the last one. All right. I don't know how they come up with these words. I'm sure there's a reason. Now let's find out the next instruction. Okay, we went into preview mode. We went into test mode. We came back into preview mode. Into build mode. Okay, when you're testing your TypeScript, play. When you're done, you push stop. Great. Game layout. You'll see this course. Okay, we ran around. Okay, now we're going to add the gems. Yes, we're actually going to do something. Only 17 hours into the course. 8 gems. I got to slow down. I keep feeling this this need to like entertain anybody who's watching, but the fact of the matter is this stuff is dry. This stuff is tough. Let's try to do this together and make it as fun as possible. Okay. So add gems to the course. So we're going to create 4 duplicates of the green gem asset provided in the template. In the hierarchy panel, let's move it over here. Here is, on this left side, is the hierarchy panel, right? In the hierarchy panel, search for emeralds. There we go. I could probably search for it because the list, could go on and on and on. Now, we're going to right-click on the emerald entity in the hierarchy, and if the emerald gem is not in view, select Focus on Selection, and then select Duplicate. Okay, so right-click the emerald. I'm going to hit F to focus on it. All right, I'm going to back up a little bit, though. Okay. Then a new instance. Oh, we select Duplicate. And then a new instance is going to be up there. All right. So I'm going to right-click Emerald, Duplicate, Selection. So I made a duplicate there. Wow, you can't see it because it's literally in the exact same position as the other one. So here's what I'm going to do. I already got, this is the emerald. See, we got the hierarchy. Oh, man, this is so convenient. I love this. I clicked on the emerald I just created. Now I'm going to go up here and move the emerald. So I'm going to click the move button so that way these, arrows come up that move. And I'm just going to slide it over to this side. All right. Man, I wonder if Control V would work. Okay, let's just stick to the tutorial. Okay, the new instance appears. Select it. Repeat the above steps until you have a total of 5 gems. Yes, indeed. So I'll make a copy of this one. Duplicate. And see, I don't have, it's already set to move. Before it was just on select, but I have it moved, so those arrows are up when I build it. So if you don't have those arrows, come up here and select move. It's select, move, rotate, scale. Scale makes things bigger. You can guess what rotate does. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gems. Perfect. The new instance appears at the bottom of the list in the hierarchy. Select it or repeat the steps. Okay. Place the 5 gems anywhere around your course using the move tool shown below. Gems should be placed about chest high on avatar so that we can easily run into them. Okay, this is how they have it spaced out. So maybe we'll do something similar. All right, let me just organize this screen a little bit. I want more of this viewport. I want more of this screen there that I can see. All right, I guess I don't really need to be looking at this picture, so I do really need this to be bigger. All right. So I'm going to select one. Go ahead and raise it up, and I'm going to bring it over to one of these, just corners of the obstacle course, okay? And what we're going to do? We're going to preview it. Now, because it's hard to tell where stuff is. I can tell that it is, oh, you know what? See, I thought it was like too low. Honestly, I thought it was too low. Sorry if that made a lot of noise. I thought that was too low. And now that I'm looking at it from this angle, I can tell it is not. So let's look at it from above. Maybe can we center it a little more? I mean, we probably are. See, again, I thought centering it would be to move it down this direction, but actually centering it would be more like this. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to preview. Remember, how do we preview? We're going to send our little character, our avatar down there, so that way we can go see the gem's height. Because, I couldn't tell at all where it was. I mean, there's grids everywhere. It should have been easy. Anyhow, now I click play. Now, instead of just clicking play, you can do this. You can right-click somewhere. And when you right-click somewhere, you go down to preview from here. It's at the bottom. So wherever let's say I want to start here. Because if you just click play, you will go down to the spawn point, which is fine, but I don't need practice moving around. I'm going to just get there. I know that when I hit this, sometimes when I hit this mic, it makes a loud noise. So if it does, I'm sorry. All right. So it's too high. Perfect. So now we know. I'm not the best at moving this thing around. Perfect. Almost. Let me just get a little bit lower. Just cause. All right, there we go. That is definitely at the right height. All right, let's get the rest of them moving. This is the most exciting part of the tutorial. I love this part of the tutorial because this I can know how to do. Man, I'm telling you, this scripting stuff. is I am using so much of my brain power just to get the simplest concepts in there. And anyway, I'll get there. I'm sure a lot of other people are struggling as well. Okay, great. So that's chest high. I loved using code blocks. I wish I could just continue to use code blocks. Let's see, where can the other one go? Oh, how about up here? All right. So apparently on the z-axis is its vertical movement. So it basically goes up or down. So I'm going to see what this one's z-axis is. So I clicked on this object, and at the z position, it's negative 8.5. So I'm going to set this one z to negative 8.5. So that way they are basically at the same height. Oh, you know what? All right. I was considering the z-axis on the shape. The shape is in there, and I need to be adjusting the y-axis. So, because when you're the x, y, and the z of the position are when you say position, like what an object's position is, it's not in relative to like where it's pointing. It's in relative where it is in this world, and in every single world, y is the vertical one. That's why I was a little confused. I think this. I could explain it, but the gem apparently was like created sideways, and then, just has a different orientation. All right. So what is the y for this one? It was 5.03. So now we'll go to this one. We'll do 5.03. I just hit enter. And that doesn't do it. I just click off of it. Hopefully that does it. And now we'll see they should be at the exact same height. And they are not. What am I not understanding here? So this is 5.03. And this one's also 5.03. Okay. I don't know things. All right. I am learning as well. All right, there we go. So I'm just going to move them manually, trying to put in the vector units, the x, y, and z positions. It didn't seem to be working. All right, let me look from here. Oh, man, seriously? Yeah, it's about chest high. Now I just need to center it. Right? See where center. Now I'm just going to kind of center it at the top of this. And to center it, I'm going to have to really be looking. Yeah. Okay, nice. We got two more shapes. All right, where should I put that one? I'll just put it right here. Let me use the focus to kind of get near it. All right. So we've got to get that bird's eye view to kind of see if it's centered. Okay, it looks pretty centered. Now we just need to make it lower. And that's the beauty of using this stuff. All right. Where did all the items go? My hierarchy. Did I break everything? All right. Yeah, we said the height was good on that one. Now let's get this one going. If people are really good at moving around in here, it might be frustrating to watch me, but because I'm just doing it the way I can figure it out. This is how I figured out how to do it so far. It's the best I can do with what I've got. Okay, I'm gonna just guess on this height. Oh, pretty close. I'll just bring it down a little bit. All right, there we go. We got the 5 gems all placed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. Now, what is the next step? Done with module 1. In this module, we verified our prereqs, so we knew how to open the menu. We opened the tutorial world in the desktop editor. We built our layout, added gems, tested the world. We switched between build mode and preview mode. I'm just pulling up my channel again to double check to make sure I'm livity live. Oh, I love this. Oh, I'm definitely loud enough. All right. Okay. So let's go on to module 2. I just realized the best part of this stream is that now I can't cop out, because sometimes I'll be like, maybe I'll just play one round of Overwatch, and 7 hours later I wake up, with snacks all over me. All right, here we go. Intro to scripting. I mean, my wife thinks it's hysterical. The reason you'll never see her is she goes on a lot of modeling shoots, so she's never in town. I don't know what's wrong with me. All right, module 2, intro to scripting. In module 1, we built the layout for our world and added gems to it. The next step is to begin building scripts to power these entities and manage the systems of our game. Scripts. This is where I'm trying to get to. Let's start scripting. Players can and will come and go in any time in Meta Horizon Worlds games. Let's create a script that will help us understand the players currently in our game. This is a useful and common place to begin. Understand the players that are in our game. That's interesting. All right. In the scripts panel, click the plus icon. Okay. So up here, scripts. And we click on it, and we got the plus icon. What do you want us to name it? Enter a name for the new script. Call it Player Manager. Now, you see these other scripts, the ones that say complete, those were already part of the tutorial world. And those are there because after, you make yours or I make mine, we can compare them to the fit, what it's supposed to be looking at. See, this is the one I just made, Player Manager. Just saved at 6:47 p.m. Eastern. Now, here's the Player Manager complete. And if we click on that, it's going to have lots and lots of code. But if we click on the Player Manager, it's only going to have the very core pieces of code. All right, in the context, select Open in external editor. All right. If you have, oh man, I hope we talked about at the beginning of this that you're going to need VS Code. You have to have something to use, and just use VS Code. Don't look up which one is the best editor. Just use VS Code. Just get there. That way, every tutorial you use, they'll all be the same. Okay, so we're gonna. Oh, I clicked it. I didn't right click it, and it's opening up something on my other screen. So, it's opening VS Code in my other screen. So let me bring it over here. Beautiful. So this is all the code that's in my player manager script. Now look, if we look at the player manager complete, watch this script. I guess it's taking a second to open, but that's going to open right here next to it, and then we'll check at it. Okay. In the meanwhile, we can read instructions. Okay. The default and recommended IDE. I'm trying to remember what that stands for. Is Visual Studio Code. You can download it for free. It's possible to create and modify scripts through the web interface. However, this is not recommended. Locate your world. Click Scripts. The default script looks like this. Yes, it does. I guess I never really clicked on the player manager complete. That's all right. That's all right. Let's just keep going. The default script template creates and registers a Meta Horizon Worlds component named Player Manager for us to fill out, which looks like this. So when we created it, it made this. Does that match this? Import. Yeah. Hey, good job, tutorial. You got it right. All right. So this is what it looks like in VS Code. This template includes the basic elements required to build a basic script. The import API modules and components from other scripts. So import, there's the import. I've seen some other scripts where it has like a list of things that it imports. Class, define the class that you are extending from the abstract component class. I do not know how to explain that, let alone understand it. All right. Props definition can be used to define properties internal to the class or as properties available through the properties panel. Okay. So, but there's the class. There's that extended class. Oh, literally says extends. And a start method is executed when the class is first loaded. So we see within the script, start. There's a function right there that's going to run. The extended class must be registered with the abstract component class. Okay. We'll figure that out. Add player map object. To track players in the world, we need to create an object store cached references to all players. We define this variable within the player manager class. To track all players in the world, we need to create an object store cache references. All right, just tell me how to do that. In player manager.ts, .ts is the type of file it is. TS is for TypeScript. Okay, just like DOC is for doc or PDF. What does PDF stand for? Or, MP3 stands, I don't know what most of those stand for. All right, place the cursor below the static prop definition declaration and insert the following snippet to create the new map object. Okay, so I'm going to copy this snippet. It says insert the following snippet, and I just hit the copy button. As you see, the code block was recorded. And where's it want me to put it? Below the static props definition declaration. So there's static props definition. So I guess I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to paste. Oh, let me right click and do paste. I was going to do it with the keyboard, but that way I want you to see it. All right. So I added it. Let's just peek at it real quick. Private player map number hz.player equals new map number hc player. Okay. All right, so I think it's putting together a chart of the players that are in there and their player numbers, something like that. Okay, the above declares a private variable, which means it is only available to code within the current script. The name of the variable is player map. Okay, so if we say, hey man, what's the value of player map? You can just look at whatever. Anyway, player map's the name of the variable. Its type is map. Okay, it can be a lot of different types. I didn't know that map could be one. But I know, like number or string. All right, the map keyword identifies the type that's being created. That whole thing is the type, I think. This map object has 2 dimensions. It contains 2 values for each entry, a number and a reference to the hz.player type. HZ player. At the top of the screen, you can see that version 2.0.0 API module is imported under the name HZ. The HZ player refers to the player class that is available through the version 2 API module. Okay. Imported. What are you talking about? The top of the screen, you can see the API is imported. Okay, let's just go. All right. On the other side of the declaration, the variable is declared as a new variable of this map type, which is empty to start. So we got the curly brackets there. With this declaration, we now have an object in which we can store and reference players in the game. All right. So now we can start storing them in the game now that we have, I guess, this. Now that we added that private. Okay. When players enter and leave the world, we must update the map object that we created to store them. To do so, we use the Meta Horizon Worlds built-in events API. These built-in events are called code block events. You know what? I don't even know if anybody's watching. I have a feeling nobody's watching, but let me go ahead and just open up my screen just to see if maybe, I'm getting, if there's comments or something. This is still running, right? Okay, good. All right. 0 people watching. Okay. All right. I don't need the volume on it. Okay, intro to Meta Horizon Worlds events in TypeScript. When players enter and leave the world, we must update the map object that we created to store them. To do so, we use the Meta Horizon Worlds built-in events API. These built-in events are called code block events. Code block events cover common cases, such as when a player enters or exits the world. In TypeScript, we can connect or subscribe any script to these events. Okay. Add an event listener for on player enter world in start method. So there's the start in player enter world. I guess we're going to type that in. All right. For our world, we need a listener to detect. The default TypeScript includes a reference to the start mod method, which is executed when the script is first activated. The start method in a script is usually the correct place to set up any event subscriptions. To create the listener, use the built-in code block event function. This function takes 3 parameters: this.entity, the code block event to which to listen, and a callback function that passes a player object. Add the following to the start function of our player manager script. Okay, great. So it's just more cut and paste. Copy and paste. So I copied this code, and we're going to add this to the start function, which means we're going to put it in between the curly brackets. And let's take a look. So when the start function, takes place, this dot connect code block event. This dot is comprised of 3 different things. This dot entity HD code block events on player enter world, and then I don't know. Oh, another variable. Okay. The variable is called player, and the type is hz.player. All right, this .player map set. I still don't know what this stuff means, so if you don't either, we're on the same track. The script breakdown. Okay, let's take a 30-second, 60-second break, get some water, and I will be right back. What's a good thing to do while I'm? Maybe I'll just write sorry. What? No, don't take me. Just docs, man. All right, so I'm just gonna put this up because probably 5 million people are gonna sign on. B. Oh my gosh, what is going on? All right, perfect. It's all set up. I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to mess up any. It took me so long to get these settings right. It is important to take breaks, and I plan on doing this like as a 2-hour live stream, and I live stream games after this, so I don't know. I don't know how much energy it's going to take to sit here and talk to a screen. At least I got this mic, so when I crunch stuff, you won't have to hear it. I'm looking at the sounds to see if it pops up. I feel like you heard it a little bit. I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to watch it. I'm just going to check to see for viewers. All right. It says one viewer, but that's probably me and my phone. Let's get back to our tutorial. The above adds an event listener. This code block code event for the script, this entity, to receive events from players entering the world. hc.codeblockevents.onPlayer enter world. Inside the callback function, the new player is added to our player map object in the form of a player ID and the abstract reference to the player. Console logging and previewing. This is a good way to test the code. Inside the callback function, we're going to add a console log. Okay, that's just this right here. So all this other code we already copied from right there. And the difference is this one, after all the code, adds right underneath console.log. So let's copy this code. Copied it. Oh, no, I don't want to copy all the code because I already have most of it. So I'm only going to copy this part, the console log. Okay, let me show you. Copy. And where did it go? Under this .player map. Okay. To test. To reinitialize the simulation, if stopped, click the play button. The simulation begins, which executes all applicable scripts, including the start method in our player manager TS script. Okay. Finally, something I can explain. When you click the play button and go into test mode, or should I say play mode or preview mode. I call it test mode because you're going there to test. When you click play, you go in there, right? When you click play, it sets off the code in the start function. Okay? So whatever we put in there is going to happen, I guess, on world start or player enter. I'm not sure what it's reacting to, but I know that when it says here that the start function, if we click the play button, the simulation begins, which executes all applicable scripts, including the start method within our player manager TS script. To trigger on player enter world, click the preview mode button highlighted below. Okay, they're highlighting that button after. Okay, we know that button. All right, so let's go to the MetaQuest, or not the Quest, the Meta Horizons. Quest is, the device. All right, and it said just push play, and then we should, here I'm going to tap console, and it's going to tell us, oh, you see, nothing popped up, nothing changed. Console down here is where things like console log comes up. Log means like write, like to write something. Okay. You'll drop in at the spawn point. Since you've entered the world, it should trigger the event and registers you to the scripts event listener, which means that the new player should be added to the map object. To test, click the console tab at the bottom of the screen. Okay, I went a little ahead of us, but click console, and we're going to test it here. The most recent things that happen are on the bottom of the list. Okay, and as things get logged in the console, they get pushed up and up and up. And I can, you can scroll through stuff, but the most recent one would be down here. Okay, now we test it. We went in preview mode. We checked the console. And it's not working. Nothing is being logged, and the console is empty. Console log is an important tool for debugging. For more information, see Test Your World. Okay, eventually. We have to attach a script. So this is the script that, we're making a script here. This is all the script. And we have to attach this to an object. And what we use for just, sometimes it'll be attached to, like, let's say a magic wand. And the code says if every time it touches a person, they turn into a frog or something like that. So it would be attached to the wand. This one, we're going to just attach it, and it's going to tell us also an empty object. Why don't I just read it the way they put it? They put it very well. In Meta Horizon World, script run when they're attached to objects, and we haven't attached our player manager script to any object in our world. In our case, the script does not apply to a specific object. So attaching it to, for example, one of the gems does not make sense. Instead, we attach it to an empty object that is not part of the gameplay experience. We now place an empty object in our world and attach our player manager script to that object. The empty object type can be used as a placeholder for scripts and an organizing node in your world's hierarchy. Intrinsically, it has no functionality and does not appear during runtime. So it's basically like invisible. It seems like its only purpose is to just hold scripts. Now do the following to create the empty object placeholder. Okay, so slide that over a bit. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on this, on the shape stuff. Okay, see it says build. We're going to click on build. Okay, and right there, empty object. Click empty object, and an empty object shall appear. So this empty object, I guess I'm just going to leave it there. There's no reason to move it. Maybe I'll just slide it over to the side, because if I make a new one, it'll probably go in that space. Okay, so we have this empty object. What do you want me to do with this empty object? Well, I can actually leave it like this, because everything on the left is just Well, here, let me show you. See all this stuff. You don't need to see all this stuff on the left, so. Okay. Do the following to create, okay, so select empty object after going up to build. An empty object is, select the empty object in the hierarchy panel. Right-click it to rename it with an appropriate name. For example, player manager. Use the move tool to reposition the empty object to a location that is outside of the play area of your world. Okay, so first things first, we're going to rename it. We're going to find it in the hierarchy. All right, so it's one of the it's the most recent thing we built. So there it is at the bottom. I'm going to right-click it to change its name, and I'm going to call it Player Manager. And you can tell, like, so it's like, oh, aren't we going to get these mixed up? But look, that little symbol right there. I don't know how visible it is on your computer because I'm using kind of a big screen for this. But the player manager there has the like a little script symbol before it. This one has an empty object symbol before it. So we know that's an empty object, okay? And it also said move it out of the gameplay area. So just for the sake of following instructions, I'm going to go ahead and move it out of the gameplay area. All right. Now, there's a shortcut in the hierarchy panel. Right-click the player manager script object and then create. Okay, we're not worried about tips. We're still trying to get the regular. All right. Do the following to attach the script to an empty object. Click down to select script to an empty object. Select the empty object. Okay, so here we are on the right side. Let's go to the player manager or the player manager. We're selected the player manager, empty object player manager. And so the properties panel is right here. We're going to scroll to the bottom and it says script, attached script. Which script do we have attached? None yet, but see, this is the script we want to attach. This script called player manager. Using the same name for stuff can sometimes be confusing, but we'll be all right. All right, this is the one that says player manager and doesn't say complete. Okay, so that's it. Now that is attached. So I guess it should work now. Instead of going ahead, let's see what they say. From the top down, select the player manager option, right? And the reference is script name and then class name. So the script name is player manager, as we already know. And then the class name is player manager as well. Okay. Yeah, I can see how that could be confusing. This also means that you can define multiple classes within a single script. See? Verify that the play button has been selected. Let's verify. Verification underway. Okay, it's verified. And let's see. Then what? Click the preview mode button. Check the console again. And it should be working. And it is not working. Okay, let me see again. Player manager. I attach a script. Yeah, I attach the script. Player manager. Oh, you know what? Here's what I didn't do. You got to go into VS Code on the thing that you're working and see when there's a white dot up here. See the white dot at the end? It says player manager.ts on this tab, and then there's this white dot. It's going to turn into X when I touch it, okay? That white dot. That means we haven't saved yet. So I'm going to go ahead and save. File. And it puts it in some strange place, but in your computer, but it remembers. So, all right, I'm going to click save. Now I'm going to do this again. Okay, let's go ahead and test it. And it should say console log at the bottom. Or it should say teacher Danny is entered or added player teacher Danny. Okay, that's what we had. So now it's working. Now that we clicked save in VS Code. So it's not going to read that code until you save it. It's going to read the most recent save. You get it. All right. Let's look at the rest of the tutorial. Yeah. Oh, there it is. I did something. Not quite hello world, but I'm getting there. All right, connect to on-player exit world code block event. We have handled the case of when a player enters the world. Now we need to manage player exits. Within the start function, connect to the on-player exit world code block event, and when this event is emitted, remove the player from a player map object. The on-player exit world event does not fire when you exit preview mode. To work around this limitation, test this event with a second player in the world who enters and leaves while you observe the console. Okay, on player exit world, doesn't fire when you exit preview mode. To work around. Oh, okay. So we are going to do the same thing. We're going to, how before we said player was added and it showed up in the, like let's look at our VS code, right? This is what it said. Added player, and then whatever the player that gets added, that's what all this stuff represents. And this gets console logged. And because it says added player, colon, and all this, that's how we were able to get in the console log added player. That's where, see, added player, colon. That's the code we put in VS Code. So, start. This thing functions when someone enters the world. When you are by yourself in a world and you leave the world, there is no leave the world. The world stops working because it's different because nobody's in there. So it's not going to bother working. So it's not going to do any type of function. It's not going to console log anything. If I had a friend in here, and I have lots of friends. If I had a friend in here and then I exited by just hitting escape, or, I'll just hit stop. If I had a friend in there and then I did that, and we put in the code for exiting, it would work. But that's all right. So let's go ahead and just do it anyway. Okay, connect. So we're going to take this code block. Where do you want it? On player. Okay. Within the start function, connect to the on player exit world code event. Remove the player. Okay, on. So here's the code. We're going to connect it to the on player exit world code block event. Within this script breakdown. All right, we have handled the cases when player. Now where am I supposed to put that script exactly? Let's look. Maybe I'll figure it out. So I'm going to put VS Code. All right, that's that code block. This.entity is player. Does it go right after that? Okay. Go one. And I'll post it in here. See. Okay, no errors. So this .connect code block event works when player enters world. It's a built-in function. This connect code block event goes on when the player exits the world. Again, another built-in function. And everything else is almost the same except, the console log says deleted player. And it would, if I had a friend in there and then I left, one of my many friends, and I left, it would show it up on the console log, but it's not, so okay. So let's get back to it. Oh, is that the one I was looking for? These are not the droids we're looking for. All right. What is the next step? And don't feel like you have to do these marathons with me. Like, watch it later. Come back later. I'll still be talking and, back it up to the point where you left off, because it actually isn't great to just sit there and marathon like brain, like anything you have to learn or think about. I know muscles and brains are two different things, but there's a similarity in that, if you do 100 push-ups a day for 30 days, you will get stronger. So why don't you just do 3,000 push-ups the first day? Well, no, you'll probably get injured, okay? So if you study for an hour a day, at the end of the week, you've got, or at the end of the month, you got 30 hours. Well, why not just study for 30 hours straight? That's an easy one. Because, why? Why would you do that? Okay. The above script is similar to the on-player enter world. In this one, the player is deleted. So it's deleted from the by player ID. It deletes the person of that player, as opposed to the other one that didn't delete it, but in fact, player mapped set it, whatever that means. So we'll take that as added. All right. So now we connected that. We can't really test the exit, but it's all right. Create separate handler functions. All right. As a bit of housekeeping, I like to keep my connect code block event bindings short and simple. The volume of code inside my callback function might grow as my game grows. So I like to move all logic to a callback event handler. Let's do this now. The handle on player enter and handle on player exit functions are added below. These are declared as separate private functions within the class. They each take a single parameter, the player object. While moving the code, I also add some quick checks of the player map object to see if the player already exists before adding or removing. My finished player manager script now looks like this. All right, what did they add? What's different in it? Oh, these handlers. All right, so this is basically the entire script, what everything should look at. Like, we only need to add these two parts, but I'm just going to go ahead, copy the whole thing, and I'll put it into our thing. Okay. Connect code block event binding, short and simple. Man, I need to figure out what that even means. All right. So now our script looks like is because I copied and pasted it, or hers or theirs. Yeah. All right. In this module, created your first. Oh, we're at the end of the module. It's actually a good teaching method to give kids the answers sometimes. Like for homework. Oh, the best is for homework, man. You can give kids the answers to their math problems, but they have to show you how they did it. And it's already checked right there. They can already see, did they do it right? All right. Because you just test your math that you came up with, and then, but then eventually, of course, you're going to give them, more difficult stuff, okay? In this module, you created your first script, reviewed script structures of default script, added a user-defined map type to store players of the game, added an event listener to the start method, added console logging for testing purposes, successfully tested execution of the script, created event listener for code block events, and the two code block events were on player enter world, on player exit world. In the next module, we build event and state management in a game manager script. Okay, so we did a player manager. We're going to do a game manager. Let's see how long this stream has been going on. My goal was 2 hours. I'm sure we're nowhere close. No, we're halfway through. Okay, an hour 4, going for about an hour and 4 minutes. I'll take another break in about another, I'm going to set a timer to make sure I take a break. I'll set this timer for about, let's see, if I got an hour left and I've been going for about, I'm going to set it for 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, I'm going to make sure I, see if I need to go to the bathroom, see if how I feel if I'm want to go. Well, I got my snack and I got water, so. Get up and stretch would also be good. When the break, I'm not going to get crazy, just stretch right now. Actually, why not? It's a lot to sit in this chair and do this stuff all the time. It's, we're not shoveling coal, but all right. So now we're going to go to the next module. Build the game manager. All right, now we're going to track the following states: when the game is ready, when the game is playable, and when the game is over. So, for the game ready state, this represents a popular situation in games where you have players meeting up and you do not want players to start yet, and the game is not keeping track of score. When our game is in the ready state, the course should not have gems in it. That's why you need, okay, cool. So there's going to be some function in there. Ready cannot be set if the game state is currently playing. Okay. So if the game's playing, you can't go to the ready. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Now, for the state of gameplay, this represents when the game is started and we are keeping score. In our game, we want players to be able to trigger this state manually and start the game whenever the game is in the ready state. When the playing state is triggered by a player, the course should be populated with gems. The playing state can only be set when the current state is ready. Yeah, I get it. All right, game over. This represents the end of the game. No way! Is that what it means? The game over state should be triggered automatically when players collect all gems. There is no death state. Or maybe Florida. Sorry. Not. I just said that because people pick on Florida. I lived in Florida. I loved it there. Pensacola. Since all of our game progression and behavior can be represented in a few states, a simple class is useful for managing state. Okay. So the game manager will manage these states. Okay. In the desktop editor, open the scripts panel, click plus, and name the new script game manager, and then open an external editor. All right, let's see if we can remember that. Scripts plus game manager. Right click. Oh, was it the 3 dots? Open an external editor. It shouldn't take too long because, VS Code is already open. And look, it starts the same as the last one did. So, but it's classed as game manager now. That's pretty cool. All right. Okay, so we did that. We will start by defining some game states and switching between them to solve for our game states requirements above. At the bottom of the game manager file, add an enum for our game states. Ready, playing, finished. Export this enum so other components have access to this as well. Here's what my file looks like now. Okay, so export the enum. So what did they add to this? They added something in the start function. They added, oh no, after the start function. Where is it? Yeah. After the start function at the very bottom, they added ePort enum game state. I'm going to copy that. Okay, I'm going to go to our VS Code. Oh, are we supposed to add this part? Add an enum. Export this enum. Here's what my enum looks like. hz.component register game manager. Okay, right there. I'm going to hit enter to go after that. And I'm going to copy. Or I'm going to paste. I'm going to paste it. Paste is delicious. Oh, did I not? I didn't do the last curly bracket. I'll just add it. All right. Export this enum so other components have access. It's exported. Great. Inside the Game Manager component class, okay, I guess that's all this within the orange brackets. And outside of the start function, so here somewhere, we need a variable to hold the current game state. Its value should be an enum value. So private game state. So private, I guess, declares the variable, and then game state is the name of the variable, and then game state is the type of variable. All right. So I just copied this instead of, so I don't have to type all this out. So within the component, but outside of the start function. Okay. Then inside the start function, set the initial value of this variable to ready. This.GameState equals GameState.ready. Okay. So inside the start function. Okay. There are many ways to manage and change the state of a game, and many examples of finite state machines can be found online. For this game and for many other worlds on Meta Horizon Worlds, a switch statement is a good solution. Below the start function, create a new public function, setGameState, which allows us to pass in a game state enum value. Inside the function, add a switch statement with all of our enum values. All right, so below the start function, we're going to add a switch statement. Okay. And what happens is break, I'm sure a lot of people, anybody who codes knows what break means, but break means don't do the rest of the code. So if the case is GameState.ready, that's being called. Well, let's just add it in. All right. Okay, below the start function. So start function is these purple curly brackets. The above defines the architecture for how the function operates. Put a little space there. Just a wee bit. Now we need to add the code to the function to manage the switching for each possible value of state. GameState.ready, GameState.playing, and GameState.finished. If someone passes in the current state, we can exit early. We shouldn't do anything if this happens. Add this above the switch statement. Did I do it right? Oh. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna Control Z it. All right. So copy this. If this.GameState equals state, then switch. Hold on. If something, okay. Now we need to add the code to the function to manage the switching for each possible value. Use the switch statement to update the value of the game state according to our game requirements. Okay. Okay, we're not supposed to be, okay, I see. This part, switch.state. So here, I am going to go ahead and paste it in there. Let me put a little more space in there. All right, look. I'm going to paste what I copied from here. But see this part, switch.state, that's not... Oh, hold on. I still copied and pasted in the wrong place. All right. So it goes right above. Okay, it goes right here. So we're going to write public. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to paste it in. And for some reason, it has too much code on it. See this switch.state? This gets repeated. It's already on this line. So why did it copy it at the end? See? Copy this. So I think maybe that was a mistake or something. So I erase that part, and it should be good. Okay. Use the switch statement to update the value of this .game state according to our game requirements. The ready state cannot be ready if the game state is currently playing state. The playing state can only be set when the current state is ready. We can now use our new function to set the initial game state of the world. In the start function, replace the code from earlier with a call to our new function and pass in the default game state. Ready state. So start. So again, it's putting in too much code. It's giving me too much code. It's giving me more than. Well, it's giving me the whole start function. It's saying do it within the start function, but it's giving me the whole start function. So yeah, it doesn't like all that. So I could either just put it right over the old function. Now it'll be normal. Okay. Yeah, I guess we got to just be careful what we're copying. All right, to test our new function, add a console log after the switch statement inside of our set game function. So let's copy this console log. So what are we doing? After the switch statement, there's the switch statement, which is the blue curly brackets. And inside of the game state function. The game state function is the purple brackets. So right after the blue, but before purple, I'm going to put it right in there. Right click and paste. And now I'm console logging the game state. All right. Before we verify it works, we need to attach this script to an empty object, right? All right, let's do it. Let's see if we can attach the empty object without looking at the tutorial first, okay? We're going to go to build. We're going to click empty object and move that empty object out of the gameplay area. Which, isn't vital or anything. I just trying to do it. Just trying to do it all. All right. So there is our new empty object. Let's change the name of it. Now we changed the empty object that held the script player manager to player manager. What should we name the empty object that we're going to attach the script game manager to? Well, let's go ahead and name it Billy. Just kidding. Game manager. All right. So, if I click on something here, it gives me the properties on the side. So I'm going to click on the empty object game manager. On the side is properties, and at the very bottom is going to be attached script. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to attach the script. And we're attaching game manager, right? I think that's it. I think it works now. Why don't we test it ourselves before we ask the computer, right? Let's see if that console logs something. Added player teacher Danny. Yeah, that's what we made before. Okay. Oh, you know what? Does anybody remember? Bueller? I'm going to save the file. I'm surprised they don't mention that. Am I wrong? Is like that not a thing? Okay. So again, it should say user completed. And the new game state is, so it is console logging something, but it's console logging undefined. Maybe we did it wrong, or maybe it's going to tell us we got something else to do. But hey, we did it. All right, let me just check real quick the YouTube channel, because if somebody has comments or something, you know. Oh, good. I'm glad you all are liking it. Hey. Okay, thank you. All right. So to test our new function, add a new console log after the switch statement inside of our second file. Or did that. Before we verify if it works, we attach the empty object. We knew how to do that. New game state is ready. Okay, we're not supposed to be ready. It's supposed to be, it's supposed to be ready, and ours says undefined. Let's try it one more time. Let's give it a second. No, it still says undefined. See, that was a 2. Now here, look, we'll do it again. Okay, added player Danny. New game state is undefined. All right, let's see if we can troubleshoot. Let's go over to VS Code. All right. I don't know what we're looking for. Console, the game state, this dot game state. So this dot game state. What should it look like? Oh man, do we got to do this whole thing again? How many people were watching? I'll lose all my fans, all billions of them. I'm sure that there's a way to check my YouTube comments with the computer though. I just been using my phone, just I don't know, habit. It's also convenient, you know. I don't have to mess with the computer stuff. I want to keep all this up here, you know. All that. It would surprisingly, it took a bunch of prep to get this all ready. All right. So let's see this again. At the very bottom of the game manager, add an enum. Ready, playing, finish. Export. Okay, they're exported. Great. Then we added private game state. Where did we add it? We added it outside of the, right there, private game state. Then this game state equals game state.ready, which we changed. We put that inside the start function, but we've since changed that. All right. Then we did the switch statement, public set game state. Okay. If this dot game state equals state return, switch to state, and we put that in here. Switch state. Okay, the ready state cannot be set. So public game state. Did they change anything from this script to this one? Oh, yes. Okay, so underneath, look, it says here case. Maybe I missed it, but case game state.ready. Case games.ready in here. But it's also has another if statement. They each have if statements. Okay, so I'm going to copy this whole thing and replace the public thing, which is what? Between the purple brackets. Then we'll add the console log again. Okay, now I'll throw that console log in. I'm going to copy it after the blue, before the pink. All right, now I'm going to save it. All right, now let's look down here. It should say game state is, I'm guessing it'll say ready. The user new game state is ready. Okay. That's time for the break. Perfect timing. Why don't I just go ahead and just finish off this last little thing, and then I just got to take a movement break. Not even because I feel like it, because you should. You just should get up and move. Okay. In this module, we created a game manager script to manage game progress. We created a function to switch game states. We created and exported an enum with game state definitions. Okay, let me show you something. Let me show you something I like to do real quick before I go grab a snack. And it's gonna be like short, 1 minute or something. I like peanut butter and jelly. No, just kidding. I like the better like that. All right. I go to AI. I use the AI when I'm studying, and I ask it questions. Because I don't have like a tutor or something like that. So here, let me. Okay, what is an enum when exported in a TypeScript file? And sometimes this helps. AI can be a really good teacher. I mean, people learn things on TikTok. Say what you want about, these modes of transmission for education. If it gets in your head, it gets in your head. All right. In TypeScript, an enum, short for enumeration, okay? It's a set of named constants. When an enum is exported, it makes those named constants available for use in other files or modules that import it. Here's a breakdown. Now, maybe I would get into the breakdown. Here's the thing. AI is not always right. So, but it's usually got the gist pretty well. And sometimes it's super accurate. Sometimes it's like ridiculous. Okay. Let me use my special effects. My Steven Spielberg-esque special effects so I can that's funny to me. Get up and move. I hope nobody saw that. All right. Okay, make it 2 minutes. All right. Back to the show. All right, so far, we've done a few modules. Let me see, what other modules have we done? 2, 3. We just did 3. We did the intro and we did two of them for scripting. Yeah, the intro to scripting, where we did our first script. The next one, we built a game manager. And it doesn't manage much. It just manages the game state. And it console logs the game state, so we know. All right. Man. All right. As the functionality grows, other parts of our game will need to know when the game state has changed. Our game manager script could keep track of all components that must be updated about state changes and then update those components directly. Retaining a reference in Game Manager to all other managers and systems and serving as a proxy for all updates is a common and acceptable strategy. I don't know if that was messing up the mic there, but retaining a reference in Game Manager to all other managers and systems and serving as a proxy for all updates is a common and acceptable strategy. However, that can quickly become difficult to manage. We are going to do something different. When our game state changes, we are going to emit a broadcast event. Okay? Cool. So when it goes from ready to play to game over to ready, anytime it changes, we're going to emit a broadcast event to which any component can subscribe. Good for those components. All right. Create game state changed local event to broadcast. First, we must create the event to broadcast. When creating events, you can declare any parameters that should be passed along with the broadcast. In this case, we want to pass our updated game state. At the top of your game manager file, below the import statements, add the following. Okay, so below the import statements, we're going to add what? We got this const, which is a constant variable. This variable is not going to change. And it's called game state changed. And this is what it is. All right, what type it is. Game state changed. All right, so let's copy that. Go back into our VS Code. And remember, it said at the top, below the import statements, add all this. So here's import. And right below it. If anybody wants to know why I'm not just using shortcuts, it's because I want people to see what I'm doing. So if I right-click on the computer and, a menu pops up and I scroll down to paste and stuff like that, if you're watching a video, you can back it up. You can. All right. So now we're exporting that. So we're importing all this stuff. We're exporting that. We're also exporting the enum. But anyhow. The above defines the event to be a local event that passes along a value called state of type game state and includes a message, game state changed. It is up to the subscriber to respond to it. Send local broadcast event. To emit or publish this event, we use the built-in send local broadcast event function to pass the current value of this .game state. Add the following line inside of our set game state function at the very bottom. This .send local broadcast event. Okay. So we're going to add it inside of our set game state function at the very bottom. Set game state. So here's the set game. Here's the set game state function. The purple brackets at the very bottom. So underneath the console log. I was about to Control V it just after I was talking about it. Little old paste. All right, there we go. I don't know. I feel like the console log should go below it, but it's set at the very bottom. Okay. Later, we create components to connect to this event. Okay, All right, so we're going to come back to that, I guess. There are no components listing for this event now, and this will cause console warnings. It's okay for now. Let's see them console warnings. Oh, maybe it's the console in here. All right, I'm not going to bother with it. Now we're going to create set game, local event, and broadcast. We also want to allow other components to send in state change requests. For that, our game manager should listen for broadcast events. Create another new event at the top of the game manager file to pass a game state value. Export const set game state equals new horizon local event. All right, create another new event. Okay, so we got that first event. Now we're going to make another one at the top of the game manager. All right. Here's the game manager. Oh, at the top of the game manager, yeah. It says top, so, but I don't think they mean above the import, so. All right, so we got these two exports, the set game state and the game state is changed. All right. Inside of the start function, connect or subscribe to this event using the connect local broadcast event function. Connect local broadcast event. I guess eventually you just start remembering these. When this event is received, call our set game, and call means like go tell that function to start, Like if you were using code blocks, it would be when, event is received, or when my event is received. Okay, when this event is received, call our set game function with the state that was passed. So we're going to take this. Where was this going to go? Console long. Case break. Okay, hold on. Where did we put that? This.connect local. So where does it say this.connect local? Okay, it went right in there, right in the game state thing. Okay. Where's start? Starts up here. Then after this one. That's where we're going to paste it in. Now, it is giving us basically the answer right here. I could just, copy that and then paste it on here, and that's, at least I know it would be correct. But, okay, Control S. Doesn't look like there's any problems. Looks like we did it right, but I'm still going to cheat. I'm going to use their code. See? That's what they said it should look like. That's what it looks like. Great. And it's identical. We did it correctly, so it's okay. Just like if there's one comma off or something, that's not really what we're doing right now. All right. So now we're at the end of Module 4. Dude, Module 4 out of 8 modules. We're about to make a game. We're about to make a game where you collect gems, and everyone in the game can build them and collect them. Sounds great. All right, at this checkpoint, we now have a simple yet flexible game state manager. What you have at this checkpoint can be saved and reused in many games. Okay. Game state manager, yeah. We have a class that broadcasts an event anytime our game state changes. This is very useful. Basic game manager setup that is used often. Is it very useful? Okay. In this and the previous module, we create events, local event to track the game state, local event to track when the state changes, broadcast event to send messages when state changes. In the next module, you'll use player manager and game manager to build the game in your game. Player manager. Okay, so we're going to use the scripts we already have to build the gameplay. Great. Build game setup. Okay. All right, here are the game design requirements. All right, this is what we have to be doing in order for this to be a passing grade. Super important. Teacher wants to get a passing grade. When the game is in the ready state, the course should not have gems in it. When the playing state is triggered by a player, the course should be populated with gems. Let's build these requirements now. This module has 2 steps. Have the game manager hold a reference to each gem and communicate to them when they need to move. Have each gem be in control of where it moves. This separation of concerns for the when and where responsibilities is common practice. It helps our game setup to remain flexible while keeping GameManager.ts simple. Build gem list. We start by adding references to 5 entities or gems to the game manager through component props. Component props are properties of the code component that we are building. Build component properties for each gem. Next, we update the static props definition object inside of our game manager component. Our gems are objects in the game, and as prop type, we refer to a game object as an entity. Meta Horizon Worlds doesn't support entity array props at this time, but we can easily create our own. Add 5 new properties to the props definition object, 1 for each entity as follows. Okay, so we're going to make a prop for each gem. All right. Now select the empty object in your world that has the game manager script attached. Its properties panel is displayed. Hold on. Add 5 new properties to the props definition object. Static props definition. Where is it? Where are we putting this? Statics prop definition. So I'm going to replace that with, oh, put too many S's. All right. I don't know why there's squares there. I mean, I know technically they're rectangles, but all right, whatever. Now select the empty object in your world. Okay, the empty object that has, which one? You know, I've been reading a lot today. The empty object in your world that has the game manager. Okay, game manager. Okay. Game manager. We select the empty object. Now what? Its property panel is displayed on the right side. Scroll down to find the scripts panel section. Okay, yeah. Okay, scripts panel section down here at the very bottom. You see a reference to the game manager script. Yes, I do. Followed by 5 new component props. Okay, that I do not see. Oh, let me see. Is it just not showing me? Is it there and it's just, my screen's not big enough to show it? Come on. Game manager. Ah, okay, there we go. Gem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a scoreboard? We put that in? I don't remember that. Okay, but those are the things that have been added now. Let's go again. Go to the desktop editor. We're going to select the game manager. We're going to go to the script section, and under the attached script is the, how do they put them? The properties for the entities. All right. These props have been defined as hz.entityType, which means that they are constrained to be selections of objects that are already in your world. Cool. Opening the drop-down menu for one of your script's gems component prop displays a list of each entity in the world. Opening the drop down for one of those component pops. Hold on. Okay, that doesn't have the... Okay, what are you talking about? Properties. Do I got to click on the gem? Naming game objects makes it easier to keep track of the ones to use. So to rename each one, select it in the main panel. In the properties panel, you can rename it to Gem 1 and Gem 2 and so on. Okay. All right, where's our gems? So we started off with this gem up here. So we can just, once I click on it, properties come up. Let's just call it Gem 2. Okay, so I just clicked off of it and went to that. Okay, why did I name that Gem 2? All right, I'm going to name this one Gem 1. Oh, you can just change it right there? You don't even have to go into the panel? Oh, no, it doesn't work like that. Okay. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, it changed in the panel as well. So we don't even need to go to the panel. We'll go to the panel. We're doing the thing. Gem 3, I hit enter. All right. There we go. It's funny order. Okay. So we've named them all. Okay. The name of the entity gem. Oh, okay. So let's go back. We're going to select our game manager again. We're going to go down all the way to the script area, and we're going to see the... Oh. This is, I guess this is where we're going to attach them, perhaps? Like, okay. Select the game manager empty object. You can now map the component property for each gem to its corresponding name gem as follows. Gem 1, Gem 2, blah, blah, blah. You've wired up the gem. Okay, hold on. Next, select the game manager empty object. You can now map the component property for each gem to its corresponding gem name as follows. Yeah, but how do I do that? Like, what's the button you push? Oh, okay. You just click it, and it gives you all the choices. Okay. So you get Gem 2. You get Gem 1. Isn't that weird? Gem 3. Guess what I'm going to pick next? Gem 4. I don't have anything for scoreboard, but it's all right. All right, so those are locked in. All right. Cool. This is further than I've ever been so far in the TypeScript tutorial. All right. This is really paying off, this teaching to learn thing. Okay, let's see how much more time I got. So I know how to pace myself. Let's see. How long has this been going on? An hour and 31 minutes. All right, I'm going to set a 29-minute timer. You know what? I'll set a 24-minute timer, and that way it knows I got 5 minutes left, and then I'll start wrapping it up. Okay. Gem properties mapped to the gem entities. I'm like losing my voice as this goes, and I'm doing streaming later. Maybe I should pick a different game. One where I don't be the announcer. Sorry, but you get it. Sorry, but you get it, right? I need to just stretch a little. Build variable array to hold gems. An array is a list. I know that much. So we're going to build a list of variables, and it's going to hold the gems. Back inside of our game manager script, create a new private variable to hold all of our gems and set its initial value to an empty array. These two square brackets, that's an empty array. You can place just before the class declaration. Okay, so let's copy this. This is going to be a private variable to hold all of our gems, and we're going to set its initial value to an empty array. Okay. Just before the class declaration. Oh, man. So is this is the class declaration, right? Like, you're asking me. People say that all the time. They're like, you're a teacher. Like, whatever the subject is, whatever the topic is, like, you're a teacher. You didn't know that? Like, we don't know everything. I mean, you know, from 8:42 to 2:36 p.m., we do know everything. But all other times... Okay, so let's paste the private gems thingy. Did not like that. Private gems. Back inside of the script, create a new variable to hold up all our gems. You can place just before the class declaration. Okay, so is that it? What do you mean by class declaration then? I'm going to hit Control F. Okay, and that's fine, and that helps me find things. Okay, I'm going to look for class. How many times is class even used here? Just once. So class declaration. Just before the class declaration. Then in the start function, populate this array with our gem props. Hold on, let me read this again. In the start function, hold on. Just before the class declaration. Where's the declaration? Oh, let me try this again. Yeah, no things that say. All right, you know, here's what I'm going to do. Thankfully, we have this. Okay, so again, what's the thing we're looking where to put? Private gems, and it's an empty array. I'm sure eventually it gets filled or something, but let's go to the scripts that are already here. You know, that are already completed. So let's look at this game manager complete. This is what it's going to look like when we finish the whole tutorial. So we're going to look ahead a little bit, and then I'm going to compare this. I'm going to see where they put this empty array. Private gems. Okay, let's see. Private gems. Game manager example. Private. Okay, it's before the start function, after the class. I guess I just really misunderstood where I was supposed to put it. So I'm just going to put it after the class and after the static. Yeah, after the static props definition. All right. So let's see. Got that copied. I'm going to go back to the game manager one, not the complete one, mine. Okay, after the start function. Oh, let me get rid of that. I told you I want to do it so you can see it as much as possible. Okay, not getting the errors now. All right, then, okay, the API does not allow properties panels to serve as inputs to other scripted objects, so you must first assign these values to local variables. Then those variables can be added to the array. So gem1. Okay, this is... Okay, this .gems.push. Push means add to list. Okay, so I'm copying it. Okay, where does it want me to put it? Oh, I wonder if I add these to the array. No, I don't think so. When the start method is executed, each of the static prop definitions okay. Where is it? Okay. When start is executed, each of the static prop definitions which have been mapped in the properties panel is added into the new gems. But where? Okay, let's go to Game Manager again. We're going to see where all these gems are, the const gems. The const gems are just in the middle of the start. Yeah, it's like the last thing in the start. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm just going to put it at the bottom of the start. So here I am. Here's start. Still within start. I copied that, I'm going to paste it right here. And that's where we're at. Okay. I'm going to do something just for organizational sake. I'm going to just push these a little bit forward. And I'm doing that by pushing the tab button. Anything I selected, when you tab it, it moves forward. So like if things were even, if they were not, they move forward compared to where they already are. So they will still be nested in the same way. So watch this. See? All right. When the start method is executed, each of the static props definitions which have been mapped in the properties is added. Okay, so when start is executed, one of the things that happen is these all become alive and get attached, and then they get pushed. And what are they getting pushed into? Which list? Do we make the list? I remember we have the empty list up here. All right. We have externalized in the script's properties the properties for assigning each collectible gem. Capture those objects in a single internal array for use in our code. On to the next. Create entity events for setup. To finish off step 1 of our plan, we need to set the game manager to communicate when gems need to move. We add this functionality to be called when our state changes. And again, when something's called, it's like saying, act, like action, start doing the script. So I guess it's like a movie. All right. We added this. Okay. In our game manager switch statement. Oh, there it is. In our game manager switch statement within the case for playing, insert a call to a new on game state playing function, which we define next. Okay, so a new function where? Okay, in our game manager switch statement. So in the switch statement, okay, I don't know if it wants it at the beginning or the end. We need to set the game manager to communicate when gems need to be moved. Okay. Within the case for playing, okay, where's playing? Okay, so this is the case for playing. All right. We add. What are we going to change? Okay, we're going to add this part. This dot on games state playing. Copy that. I got to add the semicolon. And it's messing up because I didn't bring the semicolon from here. Okay, let me put it here. Okay. All right, it still doesn't like it. Let's see. Case. Game state dot playing. Oh, because I put it in ready, not. Okay. Put it in playing. Okay. This dot game state equals game state dot playing. Oh. Okay, I'm looking at it. I don't see what I did wrong. If this dot game state equals game state dot ready, I'm on ready, the right one. This dot game state equals, or not equals, is game state dot playing. Great. This dot on game state playing, on game state playing. This call to the function. Yeah. So I don't know why it's complaining. Right clicking, I don't know. Does it tell me stuff? All right. Let's see if maybe it gets fixed. Okay. This new on-game state playing function is called only by this component, so we can create a private method in our game manager class. Private on state playing. Okay, in our game manager class. Where is the game manager class? Private on state playing. Void. Move gems to course. Private on state game playing. Somebody's probably watching this and be like, dude, you seriously? Private dot on game state playing. Private gems. All right, let's look at the game manager again. I don't think I'm even going to go the full out 2 hours. Let me see how much time I have left on my time limit. I got 16 minutes left till it's a 2 hour thing. After this, I'm gonna wrap it up. Oh, it looks like it'll take that long anyway, because it's like I can't even soak in what I'm reading. All right. So where were we at? Case game state dot playing. If this dot game state is equal to game state ready, let's copy that. Where's that if statement? This dot game state ready. What are these orange boxes? I don't know. I guess they're not a problem. I guess the boxes are just they haven't lasted for the other stuff that's there. So okay. So this new on game state playing function is called only by its component, so we can create a private method in our game manager class. Okay, game state playing. Private. This is the new game state playing function. Private on game state playing. Is that something I already have? No. Okay, this just reads. Okay, create and export another new event at the top of this file without passing any data arguments. Okay, this new on game state playing function is called only by this component. So we can create a private method. All right. All right. This new on-game state playing function okay, here we go. On game state playing, and that's the function or call to the function. Please insert a call to a new game state. Okay, there's the call. Okay, that part's the call. All right. This new game state function is only called by this component. Okay, so this is the component that calls it. So we can provide a private method in our game manager class. Private on game state playing void. Private, okay. We can add it in our class, in our game manager class. Okay, here is a class. Oh. Why am I on the... I've been working on the other... It's actually good. It'll give me a chance to do it again. But I was working on the game manager complete script, and I was changing it. Okay. I'm going to just undo everything I did. Okay. See, it's not even asking to save anymore because like nothing's changed from its last save. All right. So this one, though, I will get rid of that. Okay. So, again, the case is up to the break. And what's different? Just that it added this on game state playing. And I hit Shift Tab for that one, for it to go to the left. Okay, it's saying that. Why is it saying that one? Okay, what did it say on this one for game state playing, on game state playing, this dot on game state playing, game state. Okay, this new on game state playing function is called only by this component, so we can create a private method in our game manager class. Private on game state playing. Okay, where's that gonna go? In the class. Where in the class? I mean, almost everything is the class. As far as this class, is there another class? Nope. So, private on game state playing void. Is that something that's already in here? Okay, this is the public set game state, but we want the private on game state. Okay, private. For communication with each gem object, we could send a broadcast event again and have the gem object subscribe to that event. However, in this case, we have references to the exact entities, so we can send them each an event directly. We do this with the built-in Send Local Event API. Create and export another new event at the top of this file without passing any data arguments. Let me see, is anybody watching right now? Yeah. I did the best I could. I can barely like pay attention when I'm reading at this point. So, all right. So, you know what? Let me go ahead and shut down the shop for now. This is where we left off. Okay. Module 5, that's not bad. We made it halfway through. Now, granted, the first ones were probably really quick, so I don't expect to go through another 4 tomorrow, but hey, maybe we'll just go through 1 or 2. We got the rest of the week to get through these. I mean, we got as long as we need to get through these. So we'll get through these together. Thanks for helping me study. And, if you have any other ideas about how we can learn, let me know. Teacher Danny.